Welcome to the Explainer. We're going to talk about something today that, well, it's something we all crave, but it can be really, really hard to find. We're talking about a genuine sense of belonging.
So, what is the difference between a crowd and a community? Let's really dive into that. It gets right to the heart of this universal human need, right? The need to not just be in a group, but to feel like you're truly part of it. So, the main idea we're going to unpack today actually comes from a recent sermon, and it lays out this really fascinating framework for how this powerful feeling gets built. You can almost think of it like a blueprint, a guide for how you go from just being a loose collection of people to becoming a real, deeply connected community.
All right, so where does this journey even begin? According to the speaker, it all starts by facing a fundamental problem. Just showing up? Well, that doesn't mean you belong.
And this is a trap that so many groups fall into, right? You can have people who show up, maybe they even donate money or resources, they participate, but only passively. And they still feel like they're just spectators watching from the sidelines. The speaker warns this leads to a really dangerous kind of apathy, a real disconnection.
Okay, so if just showing up isn't the answer, what is? How does a group actually start building the foundation for real belonging? Well, this framework suggests it all rests on three key pillars. And these pillars are what create a shared identity.
The speaker calls these three things the essential scaffolding. First, you've got shared beliefs. That's the core set of principles or doctrines that everyone's on board with. Next up, shared practices. This is the commitment to actually get together, to participate in the group's rituals. And finally, you need a shared structure. Basically, an agreement on how the whole thing is organized and who's leading. You put those three together, and boom, the group has a distinct, unified identity. But here's the thing. The source is really clear that a shared identity, that's just the beginning. That's just the external framework. The real transformation, the deep stuff, that happens on the inside. It happens when the whole group adopts a shared mindset. And the whole sermon really centers on this one verse from Philippians. The idea it proposes is that for a true community to even form, the members have to adopt what it calls the same mind, or in the original Spanish, the mismo sentir, as their central figure. It's all about a shared internal attitude. Now, this is a really important distinction the speaker makes. They're quick to point out that this shared mind thing, it's not about uniformity. It's not about making everyone look the same and act the same, like they're all wearing a uniform. No. It's about unity. It's about an internal alignment where everybody, no matter how different they are, shares the exact same core attitude of service. And the absolute core of this shared mindset is this one powerful principle. The speaker calls it despojarse, which translates to emptying oneself. It's described as a kind of radical humility. It's about making a conscious choice to put aside your own pride, your self-interest, that need we all have to be right all the time. And you do it for the good of the group, to serve other people. Okay, so this idea of humility sounds good in theory, right? But how does it actually get translated into real, tangible action? Let's take a look at how a group actually lives this out day to day. Well, the speaker explains that this whole mindset of emptying oneself, it's what unlocks a totally different, much deeper level of connection. The source text actually has a specific word for this, the Greek word koinonia. And we're not just talking about casual fellowship here, like coffee after a meeting. This means a deep, intimate communion, a profound feeling that you're all interconnected. And there's this brilliant analogy used in the sermon to explain it. A community is like a fine Swiss watch. Think about it. It's not that every piece is the same gear. Of course not. It's that every unique part is absolutely essential. The whole watch, the whole community, only works when every single piece, every single person, interlocks and moves in harmony with everyone else. So this koinonia, it's not just some fuzzy feeling. It's an action. It's a verb. It shows up in a whole series of one another actions that are laid out in the source text. The whole focus shifts away from, what can I get out of this? And moves toward, how can we serve one another, honor one another, bear one another's burdens, and encourage one another. All right, so we've built this whole structure now, right? We've gone from identity to mindset to practice. But what's the ultimate takeaway here?
What's the one thing that holds it all together? And this is really the crucial point of the entire framework. True, lasting belonging, it's not something you just stumble upon or find. It's something you build. You have to actively construct it through service and humility. And of those two, humility is presented as the single most critical ingredient. So why is this so powerful? What's the big deal? Well, it's because this approach makes the community resilient. It makes it strong. When people are focused on what they can give instead of what they can get, the bonds of belonging become so much stronger. They become strong enough to handle the conflicts, the disagreements, the tough times that, inevitably pop up in any group.
Now, it's true, this blueprint comes from a church sermon, a religious context, but the principles, man, they seem like they could apply almost anywhere. So it really leaves us with a final question to think about. Whether you're talking about your family, your company, a sports team, really any group you're part of, could this mindset of service-based humility be the secret ingredient, the thing that's been missing, to create true belonging in your own life?